What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Triple H Podcast Happy Hour Hoops. The wait is over, guys. Basketball is here. Basketball is now. The NBA is back. No more waiting. Here we are, opening night, and I don't know how we got here, but I am just happy, man. I'm happy. Nothing but blue skies and basketball and the hardwood and the sound of bouncing balls ahead. I am just truly excited for this moment.
Yeah, it really hit me when a couple of nights ago had the fantasy drafts for my NBA leagues, and it's like,
Yes.
we are going to watch some regular season basketball. We've talked all the divisions. We've gone through every team. Just one more show before the NBA season starts, guys. And I can't wait. Got a couple of nice games on the slate tonight. But I'm ready. We finally get regular season basketball. The wait always feels the longest at the very tail end. And hey, now we get to relax and kick our feet up until June, man, because we got basketball on pretty much every night going forward.
Wow. June, that sounds beautiful. You said June.
Doesn't it?
That sounds amazing. Yeah, it's a great night, and we've got a great week and great months ahead of games and in-season tournament too this year. But we've been breaking it down team by team, division by division, and today we get to just look at it all and just figure out, make our big prediction, the biggest of big picture predictions we can. We've broken it all down.
Yep.
We've talked about every team, what we like, what we don't, and we're putting our money where our mouth is really today. That's kind of the goal here.
Yeah, we can start watching these games starting tonight throughout the rest of the week. See how wrong we start off with all our division previews and whatnot. But Jake alluded to it today on the show. Before the season officially starts, we'll be doing our MVP picks, Coach of the Year picks, and our NBA Finals picks, like Happy Hour Hoops has done every year since its birth. And then at the end of the episode, we'll be doing a little win total draft. So we'll each select 4 teams, keep track of the win totals throughout the season of those 4 teams that we each select. The highest win total out of the 4 teams that one of us chooses will win the competition. So it's going to be a draft for just this episode, but something we follow throughout the season. And you guys can follow along as well. Not much news because obviously the biggest news is just the NBA being back. It's amazing. Things that happened right before the season came back, though, is people started to get contract extensions. We saw it happening. I think Jaden McDaniels with the Timberwolves, probably one of the more notable. I think he signed a 5-year, $136 million contract extension. And the word we got after, some of the first extensions had come out was that Klay Thompson will likely go into 2024 free agency. Him and Warriors apparently aren't close to getting a deal done. And then a kind of a double shot at the Warriors here because Draymond will also not be in the lineup for opening night. So Golden State Warriors, weird end to their season last year, weird offseason trading for Chris Paul, and now going into opening night without Draymond, and then Klay Thompson apparently not being close with contract talks. I feel like we, oddly enough, haven't spent too much time on the Warriors this offseason. What do you guys think going in? Is the Draymond thing an issue for opening night, or do you guys have any qualms with them not re-signing Klay Thompson, or you think this is a Klay issue, Warriors issue?
The Warriors got a lot of issues, I think.
Yeah. I mean, all joking aside, the Warriors don't really have like a big man consistently.
Yeah.
And, we were joking about it. Obviously, everyone saw Steph Curry line up against Wemby as a joke for the tip. But that, that's actually kind of a serious issue, too, is when you're looking at it. Like, who are they going to play as their big man, especially with no Draymond? And Klay, to me, I think Klay, the injuries, not really just caught up to him, but also age as well. He's just a shooter. And that's really all he is anymore. He's not the elite defender used to be. He's probably not going to be that guy who's going to get red hot and score 40 in a game from time to time. He's just a 3-point shooter, and there's a lot of those guys in the NBA right now. And I think the big thing here is I just don't think the money equates to the skill anymore, where it's not anything personal for me. It's more that just Clay, maybe someone will give Clay that type of money, but I don't think the Warriors will. I don't think the Warriors are in a position to, because I think we alluded to it in our offseason preview, is that we kind of see the Warriors falling off a little bit this year. Now, when Steph scores 40 on opening night and they win handily, I'll eat my words, I guess, for a little bit. But for now, like I just don't really see this Warriors team trending in the right direction. And when that happens, you got to find ways to, switch it up, get younger, and Klay Thompson gives you neither of that. So it makes sense.
Sure does.
Yeah, they're one of the most expensive rosters in the league too, and it's really hard to keep championship teams together especially long after their runs. And I feel like this is just more and more of those after effects. And we talked about them not really this summer, but last summer, about how they tried to thread the needle with everything. And it hasn't worked out great. Like the stars didn't hit. Obviously, Wiseman's gone, and we don't know about some of the other young guys. So this is kind of the effects of that. It's nothing like, it shouldn't be a surprise. And I feel like there's no shame to Draymond or Clay's like ultimate legacy as a Warrior or as a player or anything else. But this is just, it's what happens. Like, this is just the natural progression of things. And it's tough to see, but I think the Warriors, we kind of touched on it a little bit in the Pacific. We weren't really excited about them, but I think it's going to be a tougher year. It's going to be weird for people to get used to seeing the Warriors really struggle, but they're just compared to the rest of at least the high end of the West, like they don't match up this year. So that's why we haven't talked about them, because they really they're not going to make an imprint. I don't think when it comes down to the long, they're not going to be in our title picks, which I think we might have picked. One of us picked the Warriors last year. I might have picked the Warriors last year, honestly, but I don't think they're going to be in that conversation this year.
Yeah, it's weird because last year we had our doubts about the Warriors, I think, as well, but it was almost like something was always coming for them. Like Clay was going to get right last year, and we are just waiting for that to happen. Mm-hmm. Like, what if Wiseman, Kuminga, those guys, like they don't even have Wiseman anymore, but Moody and Kuminga, we were waiting for those guys to break out, and we were kind of saying, they have this season to figure it out still. Wiggins, who missed all that time, and they were still staying afloat, he comes back at the end of the year. This year, it's almost like going into the year, we have these automatic worries about them. We haven't even seen them play yet. So I think just that in itself is a little concerning. Also, Klay Thompson, kind of known to be a stubborn guy. So if they have an ugly season and then this goes into free agency with bad taste in his mouth, like this could be a bad breakup between the Warriors and Klay Thompson. And then, that leaves them with Steph Curry and Chris Paul and not much else, which we already know none of the three of us are high on the Chris Paul, Steph Curry combination to begin with. Right. So
I wouldn't want to be left with that. That sounded not great when you said that out loud.
Right. Yeah. it's scary, man. And we could see, a mortal Warriors team this year, if you will. I didn't really agree with them getting rid of Poole. Inconsistency is one thing, but I think he provided something that a team that we're looking at this year actually might need or be able to use in certain situations. And I'm certainly interested in seeing how this Suns Warriors matchup goes tonight without Draymond, and what Durant looks like against a front court that only has Kevon Looney, and then even Nurkic, bro. Like, he's a big enough, reliable enough big that
he's a mismatch tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's, it could be up close and personal for the Warriors right to start the season. It could look bad. And this isn't, I would love to dance on the Warriors in victory lap. That's not even what I'm trying to do right now. It seems like bad vibes heading right into the season. And it's never what you want.
No.
We don't have to spend too much time on these other bad vibes because, like I've said, we've talked about them every podcast the last month. But James Harden, Woj said today or yesterday, unclear whether or not Harden will be with the team on opening night. I don't think. I mean, I've said it weeks ago. I don't think he's going to be there. I don't think it's unclear, like Woj said. I just think it's pretty clear. I think he's going to do everything he can to avoid these situations, like he's done through training camp and practice and preseason.
He's doing a good job. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's funny. You like throughout this past week, I've like seen more clips of people either talking on their podcast or the radio or just a TV show. And I feel like people are getting to the point where they respect James Harden for how he's able. I think Windhorst was saying that he respects James Harden for how he's able to stick it to the Sixers and like
I respect the hustle.
Yeah, like he made them believe that he was going to come back when he probably had no intentions of ever doing that. And we're seeing
and
that
then just
now,
disappeared. So. They're just like, well, James didn't show up. Nobody knows where he is.
Yep.
They lost track. We lost track of James. How'd you forget where he went? Like they didn't have anybody staked out at his house or anything, I guess, and then he just slipped away into the night into Houston.
Said he had something important to do.
It's crazy, man. It is wild. Do we think that like is it worth talking? Is James Harden going to be good at basketball this year? Like, do you think James Harden impacts
when he plays? So I'm sure he'll be fine.
That's the annoying thing is we still think he's gonna step onto the court and be like 22-8 or at least like something like that where he can come on and really help a team. Mm-hmm. And this is what we're talking about instead every time, all the time, every year with James Harden.
It's rinse and repeat, man. I'm so tired of it.
Yeah, man.
But Kyrie's saying all the nice things in Dallas, so maybe that'll change.
For now.
I know. Winning off season, the biggest winner in the off season might be Kyrie Irving. He hasn't been.
I think so.
In a piece of negative news, and all it's
he's
James Harden. He's been
playing basketball.
Yeah,
he's playing basketball. He's practicing. Like it seems like he's got a good relationship with the Mavs, and it's like, hey, I have to temper my expectations, but maybe this offseason of having Kyrie and Luka together could be the best thing for the Mavs. Maybe that trade, it looked like it aged terribly in the second half of last year, right? Where the Mavs basically almost looked like they gave up on the season. It just didn't seem like it worked. But now you're talking about two of the most offensively talented players in the NBA on the same court together, both healthy. Luka, not healthy because he may not even play the first night. We'll see. But both should be playing a good amount of games for the Mavs this year. Hey, I'll take a happy Kyrie any day of the week. Any day of the week.
Maybe that's what Luka Magic really meant all this time. He's just able to get Kyrie to get his head on straight and start acting right. That's really what the Luka Magic meant. We'll see. I know it's encouraging. I think it's awesome for Mavs fans and Kyrie supporters,
and awesome for Steve.
Yeah, I'm excited if we can actually see like a full offseason of work of how healthy Kyrie and Luka together. Even if the Mavs aren't a dominant team, I think they'll be much improved over last year, and they'll also be a fun team to watch, man.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm hoping for. And here's the thing: Luka needs a bounce back. Like Luka could use a bounce back year. Last year wasn't what he wanted it to be, and if he's
32, 8-8.
Yeah. Well, I don't mean, but I just mean like
I know what you mean.
The team perspective and everything else, and I feel like this guy is too good to let them like fall to the wayside again when it comes to like the title or the West conversation. And that's what I'm most excited about, like to see him kind of try to bring them back up. It's like a very fun subplot in the West when we're talking about the other teams. Like maybe Luka just takes it to another level, which it's crazy to say that because like you just said his stats and he was amazing last year, but we know that there is more to Luka is the biggest question mark of this conversation this year because there is, I feel like a motivated Luka Doncic is kind of terrifying. And I feel like that's what we're getting, the most motivated Luka I think we've seen. And it's the best if Kyrie is any bit locked in, which maybe he is older and just deciding like, I need to just settle in and not be chaotic for a year. You can't trust him, but at least he's starting off saying the right things. It's nice to see Luka alongside somebody like that who with the star power and everything else. And like you said, they're going to be really fun to watch and really competitive and winning a lot of games in this West.
And the spotlight's kind of off them a little bit too this offseason. Not a
Yeah.
lot of people have talked about the Mavs. They talked about a little bit at the draft class because really loved Omax and Lively, thought it was good. They didn't make any crazy splashes in the offseason, and the rest of the West kind of did. But now, like I said, the spotlight's on the Spurs and Victor Wembanyama. The Suns make that big deal. Then you have the Bucks. Then you have the Celtics making these two chess move type deals. Obviously, there's a lot of other teams that have the spotlight on them. Philly for poor reasons, but the Mavs just kind of did their thing. They just kind of did their thing. So it's one of those where it's like, if Kyrie can just focus on basketball, give me that all day, because he's one of the most talented players on the court. No one can dispute that. People don't want to like Kyrie because of the off court, but on the court, when he's healthy and he's good to go, man, you can't argue he's not like a top 10 player in the league.
Yeah, no, I don't think you can argue that. It's been clear. Honestly, maybe he just had to get out of the Eastern Conference.
Maybe
that's it, because it seems like he's turned a corner in a lot of different respects in his professional career here. So kind of crazy. We'll see with the Mavericks. I'm excited to watch this team. I think the best part of it for you is probably all the pieces of the Mavericks that you hated. They seem to get rid of those guys for the most part.
Besides the one.
Yes. But then they brought in guys who will replace those certain people's minutes. And I can talk from experience on one of them, Grant Williams. If you don't love Grant Williams overall, he's at least going to give you something to talk about while you watch the game. And that's true. And that's a fact.
And he's going to give a little backbone to this Mavs team too, right? And that's I think what they kind of need.
Something Maxi Kleber, Dwight Powell, those guys can't provide.
Right, and that's what I think Omax eventually will give them too. I really like Lively. They just extended Josh Green, who showed some promise at the end of last year. Like there's promising pieces outside of obviously Kyrie and Luka. Their backs are going to be sore by the end of the year, but there's a lot of promising pieces, and I think it's a lot better direction than the team they had going into last year. So we'll see.
Yeah, I agree. We will see with the Dallas Mavericks. We decided to save the last piece of news. Okay, so Giannis Antetokounmpo just signed a 3-year, $186 million extension with the Milwaukee Bucks. We are recording the night before that fourth wall is now broken, as Jake just explained to us. So we can't lie to you guys anymore. When you're watching this, it is the first day of NBA basketball. So technically we didn't lie, but this is our initial organic reaction to Giannis contract extension. And if this had happened without the Dame trade, obviously super surprising. I'm not all that surprising. Quite a bit of money. And I'm sure Milwaukee, since they got Dame, was probably just trying to lock him up as best they could. So they got it done. He's in Milwaukee for at least 3 more years. Thoughts?
They did it. They did it. If Dame was the piece to keep Giannis long term, then they did it. This is a win. This is everyone who even has anything to do with Milwaukee's going out for drinks tonight because they secured Giannis for 3 more years. They got Dame. I mean, you know what? We talked about the Bucks. They're aging. We'll see what happens with these guys around. Doesn't matter. You got Giannis. You got Dame. You're good. You'll figure everything out. You can find 10 guys. You can find 10 other guys to figure it out. Congrats, Milwaukee. You did it. And I mean, can we talk about the deal though? $186 million over 3 years.
I need to do this again.
$62 million a year.
Okay.
And that the first year probably isn't. The first year probably isn't the $62 million. So
it's probably like $75 million.
I was gonna say there's probably one. The second or third year is probably making close to $80 million, which is just gross.
So basketball players are just our soccer players at this point. That's the money. That's even like we're almost there to soccer player boys.
3 years. 186
Giannis played 2 weeks, 3 weeks with Dame and was like, okay, I could do this.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, I see what you guys are getting at. I'm good with this. You said congrats to Milwaukee. If this was the vision, now Giannis, it's not 5 years. It's not the max, but it's 3 years timing up perfectly with Dame. It makes all the sense in the world. You have this window to try to win a title. It's awesome. Good for them. They're going to have a tough competition still. They still have a lot of answers, and this is like 62 million per year, whatever it breaks out to be. That's a lot of money they're spending on 2 guys now. So they're going to have to make smart moves to fill around this roster, which I think is our biggest question right now regarding Milwaukee. But
how long do they have
good for them, man?
Brooke under contract for? Do you know off the top
Either
of your
this year, either just this year or this year and next.
Okay. I thought it was coming up soon, right?
Yeah, it you know who the biggest loser in all of this is the New York Knicks. Because this basically, because obviously him signing any sort of extension with the Bucks right now takes them out of them getting him sooner rather than later. But what, Giannis is 31 right now? How old is Giannis? 20. Oh wait, I was way wrong. He's 28. He's gonna be 30. Yeah. He's gonna be 31 when the deal's done. And then, I mean, like this extension to me could, unless it's like end of the career stuff, and he's playing on a different squad. But I mean, this could make Giannis a Milwaukee Buck for life. Yeah. 3-year extension here. Who knows how it goes with Dame? Maybe he extends again or signs another hefty 1-year deal after the 3-year.
Well, that's the thing now is if the books are clean when Giannis and Dame both become free agents at the same time, they could sign Giannis to some extension and get another piece maybe in a couple years to play with an older Giannis or something like that. Like, but now they have the flexibility. Like the prime is extended, the lease is extended, everything. Like they don't have to. It's Dame and Giannis, and that's it for the next 3 years. And that's and
they're okay with
awesome.
that.
That's right? Awesome. Yeah,
you'll figure it out. You'll fill in all the other
4
puzzle
years. Technically
pieces.
4 years because the extension kicks in after this year.
Yeah.
So this is technically, and that's Dame has 4 years left on his deal too. So they've got 4 years left of this. Take a shot. That's a big swing, and I like it.
Yeah, I like I said, I think this is a celebration for Milwaukee, right? This is a big win for them. I know Dunny, as the Celtics fans, probably just sitting there being like, "Well, there's not the most ideal situation or news to get thrown on me right now," but it's impressive.
It's a ballsy move by Giannis to agree to sign and stay in the same conference as Derek White. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's true.
That's scary waters out there, man. He wants a dogfight. He's gonna get one with the C's, man. No, it's fun, dude. I love Bucks Celtics. I love like what it's become in this era with the Jays and Giannis, and I think right now we're 2 of the best teams, or probably 2 of the best 3 teams in the league. And
this is live reaction from Celtics fans. I'll give you about a Giannis extension.
and if you're just listening,
that's live reaction.
If you're just listening and not watching, it is just a gif of Patrick the Star sleeping, snoring, and drooling. I've been on Twitter since obviously that's how I saw it when we were recording, but yeah, Celtics fans are saying that this just means they get to hate the Bucks for 3 more years.
It is. The rivalry is alive and well, as you were saying. It's awesome. And the Heat are just the redheaded stepchild that are going to come in and fuck with everybody for a little bit again. Yeah, they're going to come into the Sixers might be the redheaded that just everybody beats on. And
Sixers are adopted. Sixers.
Yeah, who knows?
Go back to that's hilarious when Joel Embiid is about to play for Team USA out of nowhere.
True.
Hey, he's got to win once, right? He's like, might as well.
He wants his ring. I don't blame him. I don't think we talked about that much, but I don't blame him. He wants to get a ring. He's like, maybe Team USA can do it. I don't know if the NBA can, but maybe that gold medal will be sick.
Yeah, he's like, what do you mean the gold medal isn't a ring? But yeah, that's pretty crazy. We tried to pull a fast one on the listeners and record the night before, and Giannis had other ideas. So Giannis,
thanks, Giannis.
Thank you.
Full-on contract extension with the Bucks, 3 years, 186 million. Very, very rich deal. He already tweeted out he's excited to be back in Milwaukee, and yeah, Bucks will probably be a juggernaut and top of the East. We most likely will be talking about them at the end in the win total draft.
Oh, that's true.
We talk about a lot of star-studded guys at the top here. We mentioned Kyrie, Steph, Luka, Giannis now. So it's only fitting we get into our MVP conversation here. And let's do our predictions, starting with MVP, then we'll go to Coach of the Year, then finals picks. Steve, why don't you kick us off? Tell us who your MVP is for the 23-24 NBA season.
I'm gonna go bias card here. We talked about it a little bit. I'm just gonna take Luka. Like I said last year, 32, 8-8, in which people considered kind of a disappointing season. The efficiency wasn't that great. He's got to get a little better from 3 and from the free throw line. But this is a guy who has worked hard every offseason. It looks like he has improved. And also, too, it was a weird year for the Mavs last year, right? You have the Kyrie trade middle of the season. There were a lot of injuries, a lot of guys going in and out. Christian Wood was a just gigantic disappointment. And, Luka still kind of did his thing, put up numbers. I think this is the year we kind of see Luka almost average a triple-double, where he's going to probably put up like 30, 10, 10, but maybe even over 30. Like if we're looking at 33, 10, and 10. And it's kind of similar to the Joel Embiid situation, I feel like, where I think the NBA MVP these next 3-4 years is just going to be like, all right, like we're going to start giving it to the guys who have been in that discussion or been a top 5 player in the league for the past handful of seasons. It'd be like, you know what? Here's yours. You're going to get one. I think this is a good season for Luka to get it, just because I think it's going to be a lot riding on him and Kyrie, where you look at the other MVP candidates. Giannis got Damian Lillard, right? Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, they're kind of playing off each other there. Nikola Jokic, are they really going to give Jokic 3 and 4 years? We'll see. He probably should have got the 3-peat, and they didn't give it to him. They gave it to Embiid. And, Jason Tatum, where you look at the Celtics, like they got Porzingis, they got Drew Holiday. Like it's a super team over there, where if the Mavs, make some noise this year and have a successful season, it's going to be riding Luka and Kyrie. So I'm going to give Luka, just because I'm not giving Jokic another one, even though he'll probably put up video game numbers. I think Dame takes away from Giannis's, MVP type of numbers, and Tatum's on a super team, Durant's on a super team. So give me Luka. I didn't look what the odds are, but I'll take Luka.
Love that. Jake, who you got, man?
Well, Steve, as he so often does, eloquently explained my pick of Nikola Jokic here, because it's 3 and 4 years, and they didn't give it to him last year, and I think he deserved it probably last year, but they wanted to give it to Embiid. And I think I've seen enough of Jokic that he is just going to be my pick by default going forward until further notice. I had a hard time. I was thinking Giannis all summer long, thinking Giannis. The Dame trade kind of changed that, because I think he might lose some credit from if Dame is having an all-NBA type season too. Maybe not. Maybe Giannis will be the guy in this conversation. That might be my second place pick, but I'm going to just go with Jokic in the boring pick, and he's going to keep his dominance, be a first-team all-NBA guy. He's going to be MVP, and they're probably going to be one of the best teams in the NBA again this year. So I'm sticking with that. What about you, Dunny?
I like that. You guys should probably already know where this is going. My MVP is Jason Tatum. I thought about the Jokic pick, because I do think if it's not Tatum, it's going to be Jokic. I think Tatum might have a chance at this for the same reason that I believe the league kind of put their feelings aside, and maybe they got this one wrong, but I think it's the same reason they might give it to Tatum as they gave it to Joel. And it's just the defensive factor, because last year Tatum averaged 30 points, 9 rebounds, nearly 5 assists. This year, I probably think it's going to be another 30 points per game season for Tatum. I bet that rebound number will be closer to 10. And I think the assists have a chance to increase, even with Smart leaving and Drew Holiday coming in. Drew and Smart, neither of them are like these pass first all the time point guards. And I think we've heard Mazzulla a couple times throughout the summer, throughout the offseason, mention he wants Tatum to be in more of a playmaking role anyway. I think that assist number can go up. And then there's really not going to be a season where you don't see Tatum at least at one point averaging over a block and a steal a game. And I think that could be something that when it comes down to it, say the Celtics have 5-6 more wins than the Nuggets, which I think is more than possible. And then you just have the blocks and steals and perimeter defending efficiency in Tatum's favor over Jokic. I think, at least that's, in my opinion, the thing that got Embiid over the hump last year. I think that's maybe what voters looked at. And then, who says the NBA voters have consistency? Because they don't. So,
Right.
But if they do this year, maybe that favors Tatum. You guys know this. Our listeners know this. I have crazy high hopes for the Celtics this year. There hasn't been a season where Tatum hasn't improved, and he took a massive jump last year. First team All NBA. Who says he doesn't do it again? I think the numbers increase. I think that alpha dominant role just continues to grow for Jason Tatum, and he continues to be one of the faces of this league.
My biggest concern with Tatum is just I think the Celtics are too good of a team. Getting Drew Porzingis, that could take some points away from Tatum too, because that's the thing. It's like if the Celtics
won't need to,
if Porzingis is having a hot night, starts off like 5 or 6, hit a couple threes, he could drop 30. Drew Holiday, we've seen him when Giannis is out, especially on the Bucks, take over and have games where he's dropping 30. And oh, by the way, Donnie, one of our favorite players also happens to be on the Celtics, Jaylen Brown, who he's another guy who took a leap last year, and he's someone who can score 30 pretty much any night. Mm-hmm. So that's the big reason for me why Tatum, it's like I like Tatum, but I think the odds are fair for Tatum. I think right now he's the 4th shortest to win an MVP at plus 750. I'm looking right now. Tatum at plus 750 in most books, sometimes 8-1 you can get him at. Jokic is the favorite at 4-1. It feels like on most books, and then Luka second shortest at 5.5, 6-1. And then Giannis right up there. So, and that's the biggest thing with the NBA. I say this with MVP. I say it with NBA finals. It's usually chalk, right? It's usually the guys in the top 5 that are going to be in contention to win it. So I don't hate the pick. I just think for Tatum, it's going to be a lot harder just because his team's so much better or has other guys who could just take over games. And as a Celtics fan, I mean, I'm sure you love hearing that, right? It's like, oh, would you rather sacrifice a Jason Tatum MVP to have, 4 potential all-stars in your starting lineup? Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a good point. And I definitely, it's tough because I hear what you're saying, and I think that is going to be the case ultimately. Like, I think there's going to be games where KP drops close to 30. That Jaylen Brown averaged 27 a game last year. He could easily do that again if all this load is taken off of Tatum. But it's tough because I think all that's true. And then I think him growing as the alpha of this team and Missoula wanting everything to run through him at a certain point is also happening at the same time.
Yeah.
So I'm somewhere in that in-between road where, like you said, I think he's the fourth highest,
4th shortest right now. Yeah,
4th shortest odds. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's a good value, and it's also who doesn't love to do a homer future every once in a while.
I want Homer too, so why not? Can I give you guys a couple sleepers just by looking at the odds? It's like I'm surprised with their sleepers. First one here. We love the team. We think this team's going to be successful. This guy was first NBA last year. 19-1 Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
I thought about it.
Best team he's playing with in his career. If the Thunder are that team that really takes that stuff up, which we are pretty much predicting we think they will be, he's got to be in the talks. We saw him make the leap into first team last year, so it's not even going to be crazy because it's like, oh, yeah, he's first team last year. He just played better. Shai Gilgeous is another one. And then I got 2 more names, and I don't think either win. I just thought the odds were interesting. 30-1 Anthony Edwards. If Minnesota's a good team, it's because of Anthony Edwards. It's not because of Karl Anthony Towns. It's not because of Rudy Gobert. If Minnesota's a good team, it's because Ant-Man makes that leap into a super, super, superstar. And this is one where, like, the stats could carry it to him. 35 points or something outrageous like that. 30-1 I thought was interesting. And then the last one I thought it was interesting just because he was in talks at some point last year pretty much because the team and based on stats, but Sabonis is 75-1. Sabonis, I don't think he'll win it. And like I said, I don't think Ant-Man or Sabonis is going to win it. I just thought the odds are interesting. 75-1 with Sabonis. At some point last year, in the second half of last year, there was a point where they're like, oh, he's like fourth shortest right now to win MVP. He's another guy too who could get it from his stats. Sabonis puts up 20, 15, and 10. That's hard. It's hard to be like, oh yeah, he doesn't deserve to be there. He doesn't have that, superstar ability, I think, that the top guys do. But just looking at the odds, I was like, me, I was like, interesting, yeah.
What are Chris Paul's MVP odds?
Oh, bro, I don't think he's listed.
What about James Harden?
James Harden is 120-1.
Hey, I'm just saying,
Wembanyama is right there too. So James Harden or Wemby right now equal odds.
I'm just saying, James Harden. Say he gets traded to the Clippers, and then all of a sudden he's averaging 30 and 10 night one for 3 months. Harden might get it. You never know.
What's disgusting is James Harden right now has shorter odds than Tyrese Halliburton. Disgusting.
That is disgusting.
That is disgusting.
Where's Donovan Mitchell's odds?
Donovan's right around Ant-Man 30-1, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Him and Ant-Man are right next to each other.
I'd take Ant-Man.
I would too. And that's why I think Ant-Man, his path to MVP, at 30-1, you can see a path where it's like if the Timberwolves are good, it's because of him. It's because he's putting up these jaw-dropping numbers.
They have to win 50 games if he's going to win.
Exactly.
MVP.
But that's what I'm saying. And that's why I didn't pick him. But I'm saying the odds are interesting because
they're not winning 50 games.
No, but if the Tims did, he's right in the MVP talk, right? Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think that's fair as well.
Gunny, your coach
of the year?
Yeah.
Coach of the year. We're moving on. This is tough because this is never really a future I take. I'm still mad at the NBA from 2016 when Brad Stevens didn't get Coach of the Year and Steve Kerr got it because Kerr was out for 75% of the season with his back that year. He wasn't even coaching and he still got the damn award. So I hold a gripe to the NBA to this day for that reason. Don't usually take it. All that being said, I like Frank Vogel, man, and it's purely because Coach of the Year is always tough to pick for me. I never know. This is the same thing. Like voters just aren't consistent in the NBA. I feel like some years it's like, oh, this first year head coach took this 10 seed from last year and made them a 7 seed. He deserves it. And then it's like whatever coach has the highest win total or whatever coach goes on the hottest streak in the last 2 months of the season. I feel like you never know with the voters. Basically, I'm taking Frank Vogel because the Suns have a super team. Steve talked about it last week. This roster is good enough that if Durant has to miss time, all those role players with Beal and Booker is fine. They can get by. They can still get wins. And I think that's the scariest part of this Suns team to me is they are a scary regular season team.
Yeah.
No one wants to see them on a Wednesday night, have to go play in Arizona, play this group in the heat. Like it's not going to be fun for the opposition all season long. And my biggest worry about the Suns is actually in the playoffs when everyone needs to be healthy. They have to shorten that rotation, and these guys have to figure out a way to win together. But good thing about that is Coach of the Year doesn't matter in the playoffs. You can get Coach of the Year before the playoffs happen. I'm just banking on talent and how scary good this team on paper could be. Frank Vogel back in the NBA. He's dying to coach. He's dying to make a name for himself again. I like it.
Frankie V. I'm excited about Frank Vogel being just he's just like so solid. Like everywhere he goes, I feel like he's done like a good job for the situation he's in. Even if you talk about
champion.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the success with the Lakers and everything else, but even Orlando, like Orlando's team, that was a mess of a situation, and he still was having them like as a competitive. Like they were a team that was fighting, they were solid the whole time. I've really always been impressed by the job he's been able to do and like the professionalism that he'll bring to a place. Like there's a ceiling on what he can do, I feel like, and how much he can maximize the team. But this team doesn't need talent maximized. This team has talent. This team needs structure, and he's going to provide that for them. And yeah, I'm really excited about that. I've got Mark I can't spell his name, so I'm not putting it up here, guys. I didn't have it ready. Mark
D.
Daniel, Mark D. My guy for the
Oh, Jay, I think you're muted. Oh, there you go.
unplugged. So I guess there's not much to say about Mark D. If the Thunder are if they're a team that is a top 4 seed, a top 3 seed, I feel like Mark Daniel is a perfect candidate for this award because they like giving it to like the young rising team and rising coach. And he deserves it too for the job he's been able to do the last.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'm all aboard with the Thunder and Mark Daniel. What about you, Steve?
The coach of the year is a weird one to me because I liked your pick as well. I was thinking about that, but I'm like, are they really going to give Mark the credit, or are they going to give it to maybe the return of Chat, right? Or Shea? And like I said, and maybe MVP talks. I'm going to go Ime Udoka because I look at this Houston Rockets team. And first off, obviously, all the stuff off the court aside, Ime was a very good coach for the Boston Celtics. And now he comes into a Rockets team that the Houston Rockets are a soft team. They're not a very good defensive team. They were never really. They're a fun team.
They are the inmates running the asylum, if I've ever seen it.
Exactly. And so I look at Udoka, and maybe this is kind of what they need. This is the type of coach they need to kind of put them in the right direction. Because you look at on paper, man, we've talked about this. The Houston Rockets have a very, very talented roster. Yes. And I look at them on paper. I look at the draft they had with Whitmore and Thompson, and I'm like, I love both those draft picks. They got Van Vliet, who's a guy who just kind of does everything right that you need in the offseason. They have
he's going to be perfect for Ime too.
Perfect for Ime. You got Jabari Smith, I think, takes a year or two leap. You got Alperen Sengun, who I think takes another leap. Jalen Green. But I look at all these guys and I look at all their players. Like, where do they really fit, though, in the awards? There's just a bunch of good players. There's no one I really think that's going to fit in the awards. Maybe most improved, Jabari Smith, maybe. But other than that, it's like, if this is a team that makes a leap, maybe gets in the playoffs, goes from the basement of the Western Conference for the past few years to like, oh, this is a fun team that maybe is a year away or maybe a year ahead of schedule. And then it's actually like, wow, this is a team that can play with pretty much anyone outside of maybe a couple teams in the NBA. You got to give credit somewhere. And why not give it to the coach, Ime, who, like I said, probably is a good coach. There was obviously issues with the Celtics.
Two wins away from an NBA championship. People forget that.
Exactly. And so it's like, if the Houston Rockets do improve or maybe take a leap up, you got to give credit somewhere. He's not even listed right now on most of the odds I'm looking at because it's such a long shot, but it's someone like, if you could find a line, I think the value there is worth taking, a little sprinkle, taking a shot on, because I think this Rockets team has a lot of good players. And you just need someone steering you in the right direction. Who's to say it's not going to be him?
It's facts.
Yeah, no, I love the pick, man, for a few reasons. One, I said it, like, people forget this guy was literally 2 wins away from winning an NBA championship. And you can talk about him being dropped into a great situation, which he was, but people double forget that he had one of the best turnarounds in an NBA season ever.
Yep.
The Celtics were a 500 team in January, and then he leads this group all the way to the NBA Finals. Obviously, we know what happens. They collapse against Kerr and Steph and the Warriors. But, I mean, he's a really good coach. You laid out how good this team could be in the near future. And my last point here is Amon Thompson and Jalen Green in the preseason the other night looked like they were at like a high school all-star game. They were just dunking everything, shooting contested threes, all the way cash. Like I don't think I knew how much I liked Amon Thompson until I actually watched him against other NBA talent the other night.
Yeah,
that is a fun backcourt, man.
The Rockets have, I think, potentially 8-9 guys that could be starters by the end of the year.
Yeah,
and I know
you
sometimes
just think about the vets they brought in too.
Right. Van Vliet, Brooks. You look at these guys, and it's like I look at this team and I go, this is kind of perfectly built team to have that one team that's just that surprise team of the year that takes that leap. And you're talking about it, Dunny. I'm all in on both the Thompsons. I liked them going into the draft, but seeing what they've done in the preseason, I am all in on the Thompsons now. And I think right now, Amen's coming off the bench or supposed to come off the bench for Houston to start the year. He's going to force their hand. I know it's going to
Yeah,
be
I
one of
think
those
so.
kind of Ben
Probably
Mathurin
too.
type situations in Indiana where they're like, yeah, he's just that spark plug coming off the bench that we really like, but it's going to get to the point where he's going to force
It's
their
like
hand.
James
We got
Harden
it.
his rookie year.
Mhm.
Cephalosha played over him. No one knew why, but
Yeah.
it was just one of those
Exactly.
things to have a
And
spark off the bench.
And it's going to be like, even if he doesn't start, watch the fourth quarter. Close game, he'll be out there. They'll make sure he's out there. So
Love it, man. Yeah, I don't hate any of our picks for Coach of the Year. Like I said, it's a weird one. I think you never really know until it's made obvious. But yeah, I like it. You guys kind of went I guess sneaky. All of ours are dark horse. I mean, Frank Vogel obviously has the super team, but Frank Vogel wasn't even a coach in the league last year. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Hopefully it's one of the three of these guys. And we can move on to the third and final round of predictions. Our final picks, and hopefully the listeners, the watchers, don't hate green because we got a lot of it in our finals predictions. I'll start us off. I got the Celtics against the Nuggets. Thing for me is watching the Nuggets in the finals last year, I had two thoughts. I thought, wow, the Celtics team probably could have given this group a run for their money, but I think it was the Nuggets year regardless last year. Two, wow, this Nuggets team, if they stay healthy, is going to continue to do this until Jokic can't anymore. And it's that simple for me, really. I think the Nuggets are going back. I think they'll have some competition with the Lakers and the Suns, but ultimately, if Murray, MPJ, and Jokic are healthy, I think that bodes well for them and their chances of making it back. And then the Celtics, similar reason, kind of. I think the last few years, they're right there. They made it there 2 years ago. They almost were the first team ever to come back from 3-0 last year. And I think they're the best team in the Eastern Conference. So same thing. If they have a healthy KP and Al Horford going into the finals against the Nuggets, I think that's anyone's series. Give me.
You can make
Nuggets.
a pick, an actual pick.
It's the Celtics.
do you think Dunny's going to have Celtics
adding
go to
to
the
this
finals
right
and
here.
not win?
We're adding.
Well,
to
I
it.
needed it on the record. I
Do
needed
you
it. I
really
had
think
it
Dunny's going to have Celtics in his finals prediction and be like, yeah, we're going to
In
lose.
our-
We'll come up short.
in our little banner thing. In our little banner thing, I already had this typed up as he was speaking, but I just had to make sure. Just had to make sure that he
Thanks,
was
yeah,
full of
thanks for
conviction.
checking in. That's the
Before-
professionalism that you didn't know you got on Happy Hour Hoops.
Exactly. Then you said there's going to be a lot of green, but this isn't going to make you happy, Dunny, because we have the same finals, but the Nuggets
Yes.
they're winning again. I don't know if it's the Celtics or the Bucks or it's the Heat again because they're zombies, or I don't know, the Knicks trade for Joel Embiid or something like that. That happens. I think the Nuggets are winning the title no matter who it's against. But I do think the Celtics, if they face, I think the Celtics are the most complete team in the Eastern Conference. And I might have said the Bucks before the Drew Holiday trade, but Drew Holiday is such a perfect Boston Celtic, and he just does everything that I was worried about with this team. Obviously, injuries are the only thing you can really worry about now with guys like Porzingis, he's been hurt, but so what? Like the Bucks don't have a lot of depth, honestly, besides that too. And I'd trust the Celtics depth. And that's just that starting lineup the other day. I saw that starting lineup graphic and I was like, oh man, I can't there's nothing I could do. I think these are the two best 5-man lineups in the NBA when you look at their starting 5. And I think these will be the two best teams. I think they'll clear each other out, even though Dame and Giannis will probably be third right there. And then I think the Suns will be a little bit behind there. But yeah, I'm picking the Nuggets. I think Jokic is going to continue to dominate, at least for this year. That team is built perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. Like I said, I think it's tough to take anyone outside the top 4. And originally, I have the Celtics out of the East. Let's just say Stevie Boston's in full effect again. I think it's the best 1 through 5 starting lineup out of anyone in the NBA right now. I obviously liked Porzingis beforehand. He had such a good year in Washington, but no one talked about it because remember, it's in Washington. No one knows Washington Wizards exist at this point. And then Drew Holiday, I think, was the biggest chess piece move because not only is he probably one of the only guards who's really good at shutting down Damian Lillard consistently, but he's going to be that perfect piece you need for the Boston Celtics who could do pretty much everything. And I know Donnie's going to hate me saying this because he loves him still, but I think Drew Holiday's just everything Marcus Smart does, Drew Holiday does better. I really
Yes.
do.
Yeah.
I just think it's like like if you're Marcus Smart, right? You're in 2K, you got Marcus Smart. You're like, all right, I'm going to add +2 to every single attribute. There's Drew Holiday for you. And I just think the Celtics have that kind of perfect team. And then out of the West, I'm not taking the Nuggets just because I don't think Jokic wants to play for 2.5 extra months again, right? He's tired of it. He had his championship run. Jokic is fine with a second round exit. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I don't think Jokic is all in on winning another finals. And then the Phoenix Suns, I want to take the Suns. I think the Suns are probably the best team on paper overall, top to bottom, but I don't know. We'll see. I got to see a full season of health from Durant and Booker before I do. I'm going to go with my sneaky team that I think is going to take the leap because I want to be different too. It's 80-1 odds right now. 80-1 odds if you want to take exact finals matchup. I got Boston Celtics against the Oklahoma City Thunder. You talk about starting lineups 1 through 5. Well, take a look because it's coming up quick. This team is accelerating faster than you think. You've got a first all-team NBA player. What do you need? What do you need if you want to become a threat, a title contending threat in the NBA? You need an MVP type caliber player because look at it. NBA is a star-driven league. You need it. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is that type of player. You need a good combination of outside shooting and defense. Oklahoma City has that. And you need kind of that spark plug. You need that big man down low because every good team has a pretty dominant big or they have someone that, can be good offensively and defensively as a big. Every title team we've talked about has it. Phoenix is the only one that's a little shaky with Nurkic. Not sure. Chet Holmgren is back. Chet Holmgren looks good. Chet Holmgren looks like he put on some muscle. It looks like this guy's aged 5 years in a good way. Chet Holmgren looks like a seasoned vet. I can't wait to see what he is. And like I said, the spotlight's on Wemby, so just let Chet ball. We're talking lineups 1 through 5, playoff lineups. All right, you know what? Give me Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Josh Giddey, Dortcher Chamber, Jalen Williams, and Chet against anyone. I don't care. I love this team. Give me Celtics over the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think it's going to be a fun year for Thunder fans. Plus, you get that home court advantage. If the Thunder are good again, too, no one's winning playoff games in OKC.
I love the pick for so many reasons, man. One, because you have the Celtics to win. Two,
of course,
I've said it a couple times on this show, but the Thunder since the ugly years of the Celtics days have been my adopted team, probably since Kevin Durant came into the league, honestly. Yeah. I remember being intrigued when he got drafted by the Supersonics, and then I kind of adopted that Thunder team. I love them. I've loved the errors they've had since then, like Paul George and Russ. I thought that shit was awesome. Even Chris Paul kind of being in OKC with not much else help, and then willing that group to the playoffs. I thought that was fun as well. I love the Thunder. I love the Celtics. And if you tell me that the Celtics make it all the way to the finals and their opponent is the Thunder, no disrespect to the Thunder at all.
You'd be loved that, though.
The Thunder is who the Celtics were when they were, missing out and losing to the Miami Heat, or they were getting there but not able to take that next step. That's what it would be. And the Celtics would be the veteran group. The Thunder would probably have to swallow the pill, take the loss. I would love that. I mean, if we get there and we open the door and it's not Jokic, it's not Kevin Durant, it's not LeBron James, that would mean a lot. Last thing I did want to touch on that you said, I feel like I should probably have some sort of opinion on this. I haven't said it on the pod yet. Drew Holiday, Marcus Smart. I agree with you. And I feel like people have had this conversation since the trades happened. Both trades have happened. Mm-hmm. I think Drew Holiday does pretty much everything better than Marcus Smart, except I think Marcus Smart is better at switching onto specifically bigs. We always talk about how there's not many guys who can guard 1 through 5. I truly believe Smart can guard 1 through 5. And it's not necessarily because he's bigger or he's stronger or he's physically better at it. I just think he's that much more of a pest than Drew Holiday, that the Embiids of the world get so fed up that their footwork's just all out of whack because he's so far in their head. Mm-hmm. And then this is one that only Celtics fans would be able to understand. But I think Marcus Smart just makes the impossible plays better than anyone else, including Drew Holiday. So, like, if you're out of a game completely, and you need some crazy shit or miracle shit to happen, Smart is the guy that you ask for in those situations.
Sure.
Most notably,
Mhm.
one that probably people are able to draw their memory to is, it was probably 5-6 years ago at this point, Houston, James Harden was putting a beat down on the Celtics in the Garden. Celtics had a 26 point comeback, I want to say, and Smart drew back-to-back charges on James Harden, and the Rockets lost the game. Like, just stuff like that. I agree with you for the most part. I think I'm so excited for Drew Holiday. I think the offense is the biggest thing. Like, he's just more of a reliable offensive player, and the defense speaks for itself. But I did want to mention that I haven't really compared the two on the pod since it's happened. But yeah, that's it. And I would love some Thunder Celtics, man. Give me that.
I know you would. I know. I might have to come to Boston for a game if that's the actual matchup, bro. I might have to, dude. That would be fireworks, man. Because, like you said, I know you call the Thunder your adopted team too. I always love Kevin Durant. He's like one of my favorite players when I watched him at Texas too that one year. So I was like, and Russell Westbrook, you know how we both feel about Westbrook. So I've always had a soft spot for the Thunder as well, man. Oh, that'd be fantastic. They're on my Mount Rushmore NBA teams. I'll watch or root for. Both are the Thunder and the Celtics. So
love that.
Yeah, that would be a fun matchup. Real quick, guys. I know we didn't have it in the schedule, but Rookie of the Year. We all taking Wemby, or does anyone got like a sleeper Rookie of the Year? Because I said Chet at 4-1 would be kind of the sleeper pick just because he's Wemby before Wemby. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys. After watching the preseason, how do you find someone other than Wemby? If Wemby stays healthy for the year, he's got to get it right.
The pictures are crazy already. Like that picture of him blocking. It doesn't look fair. He's playing. It looks like majestic. It looks like it's literally like art in motion watching him.
Did you see him?
The block into a 3-2. I mean, a pull-up.
Did you see the still image of him contesting Wiggins, and then Chris Paul was standing behind them, and it was like Wemby is literally 2.5 Chris Pauls. Like someone took him and started measuring Wemby's size with Chris Paul.
Dude, he's the type of guy who could be on one side of like the arc and someone's shooting a 3 from the other wing and he blocks it. Like he's just instinct, sees the pass, turns, and somehow gets there. I mean, it's actually crazy. I know we didn't like have an official Rookie of the Year because I think right now, like, you gotta take Wemby. You just have to. Scoot could be fun and exciting. When we talked about how excited I am to see what the Thompsons roles are, but if he's healthy, man, I mean.
Yeah, we should probably take a page out of Jake's book from last year and just take the overwhelming favorite, like Ben Carroll, the most NBA ready guy.
The guy 2 weeks in.
The guy who literally took the world by storm over the summer because of how hyped everyone is. He's coming to play in the U.S. I think it should probably be that guy. But no, I do. If there was anyone else, honestly, it'd probably be what you said last week and just sprinkling Chet just because.
Yeah, because he was Wemby before Wemby, right? If you look at the odds right now, Wemby is like pretty much even odds, plus 120 even odds. And then you got Scoot at like 2.5-1, Chet's at like 3-1. And then it jumps, I think, 16, 18-1, Brandon Miller, Cam Whitmore, Thompson brothers, etc. It's hard not to take Wemby, though. It really is, man. I
agree.
I think Chet's the sleeper, but take Wemby. Even odds, right? Just throw it in with something. That's what I did with the Aces to win the WNBA finals this year. They were pretty much even odds. It wasn't like a shocking move or a big brain play. I was like, I'll just throw them in.
Classic, classic long-term parlays.
Exactly. Right.
Loved it.
All right, should we get to the final and funnest part of this episode?
Let's do our draft. We're gonna keep track all year long. Gonna have a little. We'll have a graphic. We'll keep our win totals probably every week as we're about to come out with the show. We'll do our wins update. We'll see. This is what I said. We're putting our money where our mouth is. So I think we've talked about all these teams. So we did it before. Steve gets the first pick.
Hell yeah,
I get second. Dunny gets the third, and we'll do a snake. So let's just no time to talk. Let's make our picks and let's get cracking.
Let's do it.
And I think it's we talked about it. We have them all in the NBA Finals. First pick, Boston Celtics. Easy one there. Boston Celtics potential 60 wins this year. Is that crazy?
Yeah, no.
Is that crazy? I don't think so.
It's not crazy.
Give me the Celtics.
It's completely sane.
Steve picks the Boston Celtics #1 overall. It's a good pick. Well, I'm picking the other team from my NBA Finals, the Denver Nuggets. Have to do
Okay.
it. I think this could be another. This is a 60-win candidate this year, so I'll just take Jokic in the MVP season, the #2 pick.
I don't hate
Denver
it.
Nuggets.
I don't hate it at all.
I think you guys had the easy 1 and 2.
Really?
I think so. I don't know. I think I might have even taken Denver at 1 if I was you, but I probably would end up taking up Celtics. Let's stop lying here. I think my next 2 are just as easy though. I'm going Milwaukee and Phoenix.
Yeah, the big 4 we're obviously going to go 1 through 4, right?
Yeah. And I you guys were right. I was a little bummed about getting the third pick here, but on the turn is nice when it's still this rich.
It's true. Those are great picks.
Thank you.
I'm in a tough spot here. Yeah.
It's tough.
This is weird, man. This is weird.
Really.
Because we knew the
Okay,
top
yeah,
4, right? We knew the big.
Yeah, so let's settle down here. We knew that I knew this 4 was gonna break it down no matter what. I thought Steve might pick Phoenix first, but Boston. I was picking the Nuggets or Boston no matter what there. So the higher team, like Cleveland's a 50-win candidate. I'm looking off the odds that we sent earlier from Bleacher Report, who I think is FanDuel's odds. Like the rest of the teams that are there, Cleveland. Like I'm not touching Philly here.
No.
Do I want to take? Like I don't think I could. Guys, I could take the Cavs here, and it might be a smart idea, but I think it might make me dislike the Cavs more because I've been so wary of thinking this team's good. So if I pick them,
but what if it goes well, Jake?
You're right, and I should feel that. And
have you thought about that?
No, I do. I really am trying to actively think optimistically, but I'm thinking objectively about the Cavs, and I just don't. I don't like Donovan Mitchell, guys. I've just come to terms with that. I really just don't like Donovan Mitchell.
It's a tough realization.
I'm gonna be happy with the Cavs. I think I knew it before. We were on this podcast, and I was adamantly saying I don't want them to pick him. Trade for him. Right. Don't do it. And then they did. So I'm picking the Thunder.
Wow. Thunder at 5.
Steve is stunned.
Thunder at 5. I respect it. I was thinking about getting the Thunder on the second half of the term. You didn't take the one I'm taking at 6, and I'm shocked. I'm gonna take the Lakers, man. I'm gonna take the Lakers here.
I think I would have done that.
Healthy AD, LeBron coming into the year. We saw they were the 3rd or 2nd best team in record wise in the second half of last year. I'll take the Lakers.
Look at Stevie ESPN, who's got the Celtics and Lakers.
I know. And now,
Mr. 1980s, Celtics Lakers.
This is why I'm happy, because that would usually be a Jake thing to do, is have the Celtics and Lakers. So I'm glad with my growth here that I just have the Nuggets and Thunder, and Steve can have the Celtics. And Lakers.
Yeah, now I have a tough choice to make because it's teams that I'm down on. But I'm actually I'm gonna save Jake here for having to think of them again. I'll take the Cavs at the turn as well. I'll take the Cavs.
Wow.
It was between Cavs or Philly. I can't trust Philly.
This draft for Steve is going very Jake Micah right now.
I'm
so Celtics,
happy.
Lakers,
I'm
Cavs.
so happy you did this, because either I'm wrong and these two teams are awesome this year, and I'll be happy. But if I picked them and they both win like 45 games, I would be so mad at myself. So I'm glad that you can have this, Steve, and we can commiserate or be happy about these teams one way or the other. I'm still pretty happy with these two teams right here that I have currently, but man, this is tough.
Yeah.
This is tough. I'm avoiding the East, honestly, and that's why I didn't want the Cavs. I wasn't even thinking about Philly.
Oh, I know where you're going.
Don't say anything, man.
I know.
Where do you think I'm going?
I know where you're going.
Don't say it.
I won't say it because I don't want me to say it, but I know where you should go.
I'm between 3 teams right now.
3?
I'm
Yeah.
between 2, but I think
All Western?
one of them's getting picked.
2 Western.
Oh, I know where you should go.
I'm picking the Kings.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
right.
that's nice.
Light the
I'm
beam.
picking the Kings.
Okay.
Light the beam. I think the Kings and Thunder might be like this is what I'm betting on at this point is the 2 young teams rack up the regular season wins and also want
Fair.
to win the in-season tournament. And those are 2 teams that would both benefit from winning those things. And so they rack up some wins and they have like because I think we're all in a good spot and we're all kind of in the same boat where all these teams, like after the top tier, we have no idea. Like
Right,
you could convince me that most of these teams are going to be either good or bad, and I'd be like, okay, yeah. So I think there's going to be some crazy like swings here. But Dunny, you got 2 picks on the back half here.
I'm going out west for my last 2.
Mm-hmm.
I know where he's going.
Memphis Grizzlies
Yep.
and the Dallas Mavericks.
Damn it!
That's what I would see.
Son of a bitch.
You stole that. I was hoping I could get him on the back half. That's what I was deciding between there.
I was fine with either of those. Waiting for either of those to come back. I'm like, he won't take both. He won't take
Well, you could
both.
thank Jake for that because I was gonna go Kings Grizz, but then I was like, wait,
Yeah.
Mavs, low key higher upside. I'm going Mavs. I like what they did. I've been saying it all off season, man. I'm not the biggest Kyrie guy. I'm not even the biggest J Kidd guy as a coach, but they brought in my guy Grant, who I'm a big believer in. I think they fixed a lot of the problems on the bench.
Tony has Milwaukee, Phoenix, Memphis, and Dallas. I don't understand. That's an unbelievable start.
Pretty solid.
I like both of those. I think Memphis can, the 25 games can be fine before Ja gets back. And then they're good. They're a good team. They really are. I think it's a really good pick. I was really hoping Memphis snuck back to me.
Let's go.
Yeah, I would have liked. I was deciding between the Mavs and the Kings and the team I'm about to pick. So Dunny, you really threw me off with the Mavs. I don't want to pick this team. That's why they're going to be the last team. But I've said enough nice things about them, and I have to put my money where my mouth is at this point. I'm picking the New York.
Oh my god!
Wow. All right, they weren't on my radar. I'm gonna be honest.
I mean,
They
I don't
weren't
know.
on my
There are 3 other teams that you could pick that I'd want no part of, and so I'm picking
This
the
is dude. I honestly, right now, I think Philly fans have turned off this. Or Philly fans have
Well, I can't do it.
And I'll be honest. I'll be honest. They're gonna lose it for 2 more picks.
Oh no,
They're gonna lose it for 2 more picks, Jake,
no.
because you have a chance to take them. Because I'm going with the Clippers. I don't think the Clippers are going to be as good as we thought they were last year, but I still think at the end of the day it's a good basketball team. And when healthy, the Clippers are one of the best teams. I gotta go Clippers here. Oh man! Next pick. What pick are we? 13 right now.
13.
Give me Heat culture, baby. Give
There
me
it
Heat.
is.
I'm going down with the ship.
You got.
I will go
Clippers and
down
Heat,
with the
baby.
ship. At 12-13, I'll take Clippers Heat. I'll
Boston,
take Clippers Heat at
Lakers,
12-13.
Cavaliers, Clippers, Heat.
Yeah, I'll take that.
I like it.
I'll take that start.
And now I feel like the Heat. I almost picked the Heat instead of the Knicks, but that's a lot of faith in Tyler Hero that I'd rather put in Jalen Brunson. I was picked between Tyler Hero and Julius Randle, and I picked Julius Randle. And I don't know if that's the right move. I don't know. I got to pick the Warriors. I know we talk shit about them, but it's Steph Curry at pick 14. So
Yeah, true.
I'm gonna take the Warriors, and I'll be okay with it. Because what we're looking at left, I'm okay with that. I'm okay. Dunny.
Donnie,
there?
How many more picks
Donnie's
do I
got.
have?
Here you go, Donnie.
Dunny, we're picking the whole league.
Yeah, 10 rounds, baby.
Do you need a team update?
Give Donnie
Take
a
a-
team update.
Frozen.
Yeah.
Stop your cam. See if that works. This is live and troubleshooting times. So right now, let's do a check-in. Steve, you got Boston. We said the Celtics, the Lakers, the Cavs, the Clippers, and the Heat. Yes.
Okay.
Can still hear you. Just turn off your camera. See if that helps. We can finish up the draft. I have the Nuggets, the Thunder, the Kings, the Knicks, and the Warriors. Dunny so far with his 2 picks coming up. He has the Suns, the Bucks, the Grizzlies, and the Mavericks.
I like Dunny's start. I really like Dunny's start.
I like your team just because I like watching the teams, but I don't know if that means that it's going to be the most wins.
Fair enough. I know. I wasn't going to let you.
The Lakers, to be honest, I'm mad that I didn't think about the Lakers more at 5, but I really I really was between just the Cavs and the Thunder because I think the Thunder are going to win. They could win 50 games.
I agree, but I was like, all right, I'm probably going to have the Thunder. I was just like, you're like, all right, Jason, take the Lakers here. I'll have the Thunder, and then I got to figure out my other team at the turn. But no, you threw a curveball at me. I'll take the Lakers. All right, Dunny. Looks like Dunny.
All right, I'm back.
You're back. You got 2 picks.
2 picks.
Do you need a reminder? Did you hear the teams that are left? Do you got it all?
I think I should be good for now.
Okay.
I think I heard your guys' last couple. I'm going to take the Pacers if they weren't already taken.
Can we trade teams? I got Celtics. Can we just trade drafts?
Yeah.
Shouldn't have done that to me, man. You shouldn't have done
He's
that.
going for blood right now. He's going for blood.
I wasn't actually having poor connection issues right there. I was just trying to remember all of Steve's favorite teams. So I I have one more, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
I could just end Steve right now and
do it.
Do this too.
End me. I know what you're thinking. Just go for it.
I
just want to let it be known Pacers went ahead of Philly. Just putting that out there.
That's crazy, Philly.
This became a meme at this point.
I'm not touching
yeah, we're gonna have to tweet a graphic after this of all the teams that we drafted before Philly because that is crazy.
Yeah.
And it's gonna stay that way because I'm taking the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh my god. I can't get out of here like that. All right, fair. Whatever.
Wait, that's actually who you wanted? I thought.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I pivoted off who you actually wanted.
All right. Well,
I was between two.
Steve, you're gonna have a chance to get a team you'd like.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right.
Not if it's the Sixers, because I'm picking the Pelicans.
Wow. All right.
That's who I thought you were gonna. That's who I.
No,
thought you were gonna
I like the Pels. I would have taken Brooklyn over the Pels. To be honest with you.
I realized at the last moment that no one had taken Brooklyn. I think they have a safer floor than the Pelicans do.
I agree.
This is this is a swing here late.
That's a ceiling play for
yeah.
sure.
It's 18th. I think
you
I have to
it.
take Philly.
I
mean, I don't really think I have a choice at this point. I gotta take Philly.
The league last year is still on their team, so
yeah. And I love Tyrese Maxey. It's just I
Yeah.
just hate James Harden. But you know what? I'll take Philly at 18. I mean, that's a pretty good.
It's a solid. It rounds
good
out
value.
your team nicely right now. Yeah.
And then I'm down. Oh man, I'm down to a couple teams here. You know what? Yeah, no, I'm gonna do it. I said he was gonna be coach of the year. If you gotta be coach of the year, your team can't be a terrible team. So give me Houston Rockets because I don't think they're coming back to me. I don't think they're coming back to me. And I know Dunny would just look at that at the turn, be like, oh, Rockets seem like a fun team. I'll try them. Steve likes them. So yeah, give me Philly and Houston.
That's not who I was expecting. I'm not gonna lie.
Nah, who are you expecting? Unless you don't want to say it.
Just not the Rocket. Well, I'm making a pick, so I guess I could really say anything in the moment. I'm trying to decide. I'm going with the Timberwolves. I'll do it.
Yeah, I didn't want to take them. I didn't want to take them.
I'll cheer for Ant.
I get it.
I don't like it. It's gonna make me mad. You guys remember the other day that when we compared Bam and Towns and Anthony Davis. Was it Anthony Davis? It might have not been Anthony Davis. It might have been Randall, but you could throw Anthony Davis in there. My brother ended up with all three of those guys on his fantasy basketball team the other day.
Oh, that's
I just
awesome.
thought it was hilarious. But
That is
on that
funny.
note, I'm taking the Timberwolves. I will painfully watch
I like
Rudy Gobert
it.
this year. Dunny, you got picks 21 and 22. We're coming up to form here.
All right, I'm going to. I think
Slim
that.
Pickens.
Yeah, I think it's so slim that it's almost easy at this point for me.
Okay.
I'm going the San Antonio Spurs.
Wow. Wow. All right.
Give me some of that Wemby juice, man.
All right.
I wanted to be able to root for Wemby for one reason or another, and this was the funnest option for
There
me.
you go.
I'm taking Wemby. I feel like I have to go safer now in my other pick because I kind of took a stab there.
Mhm.
Oh, this is tough, man.
Yeah, we're not in any real safe zone at this point.
Yeah, it's all pretty gross at this point, but
Yeah.
I hope
think
you
I'm
take somebody. Come on.
I think I'm taking the Chicago Bulls.
Damn it. This is not
That's
what I'm
good pick.
hoping you would take.
That's a good pick. I was thinking of that.
I was between two Eastern teams there.
Well, I was hoping you would take the other one because it wasn't. There's one team I'm not picking that you probably knew I was not picking. You both know I'm not picking.
Oh, I think I know.
Yeah, I know who he refuses to pick.
I'll take.
I mean, there's one team that I wish that none of us could pick, but someone's gonna end up with them.
Yeah, probably me. Probably.
I'm taking Utah.
Wow.
Ooh, spicy. Spicy. That's still better than you can do for some of these.
I kind of like this here. I'll take Orlando at
Yeah.
25.
That's who my
Thought
team
about
was
it.
gonna be.
I'll take Orlando. And then, oh my gosh. See, here's the thing. I could take Atlanta, or I could have Micah pass up on them again, and it'd just be hilarious to see which team.
No one
gonna
took the
happen.
Hawks yet.
I'm not taking the Hawks.
No one took the Hawks. So it's either like, do I take Atlanta here, or do I let him just fall into Dunny's lap because Michael refuses to take him, or we could just have have Dunny pass on Atlanta and see if Micah actually would take the Hawks in the final round, or if he would take the Hornets or the Wizards or someone.
There's a couple teams left.
Full transparency, when I disconnected, I thought the Hawks got picked. I don't think I would have taken the Spurs over the Hawks had I
I
known.
was surprised you did. It's Hawks or Toronto for me. Man, I hate it, but I'm gonna take the Hawks. I'll take the
Yeah.
Hawks.
I think it's the right play, honestly.
Yeah, Hawks and
Between those two.
Magic. I'll take that.
You got the Southeast on lock.
Apparently.
Ooh. Now it's real gross, boys.
Yeah, there's 4 teams left. None of them are that exciting.
Now it's real.
All right,
gross.
I am picking
Don't
Trailblazers.
do it. Whoa, Portland. I kind of like it. Well, you guys know I like it. I was the only one that took their win total. So, wait, is this
How are we
me
doing?
now?
Are we on the right thing? We got Dunny. I think you got one pick left.
Yeah, wait, what did we
Pick.
do?
How
How
did-
did we screw this up?
How did we mess this up?
Unless we counted wrong, right? It's a 3-team snake. There's 30 teams. It should be.
Yeah, so I have one pick left, and then you guys have one pick left, right?
Well, you technically at the turn. You're supposed to have
You
two.
have
I
two
don't know how
picks.
we screwed that up.
I have 2 picks left.
Go recap, Jake. Who drafted too many teams?
If you guys make me give back the Spurs, I'm gonna.
Nah, you can
Lose
keep
it.
this.
No, you need 2 teams. Somehow, did I pick too many teams? I still have 9 teams. Steve, are you supposed to get a pick at the end, or am I supposed to be the last pick?
No, it's supposed to snake, so I would end. It's 10 rounds, 3 guys, man. It's 10 times 3.
I understand that. You have 9 people. I have 9 people for you written down, 9
how many
people
you
for
got?
me written down,
How many
and
for Dunny?
8 for Dunny written down.
All right, so we're at 26. So that was pick 26. So we just had the wrong.
We were
Right?
just
What's-
counting wrong.
Yeah, but where'd we count wrong?
This is good air. This is good podcasting right here.
No, we got all right, we got
We're
4
good,
teams
aren't we?
left.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
You took
Oh, okay.
Trailblazers at 26. We
I just wrote
counted
the wrong.
somewhere.
We just have
yeah,
the
you
wrong
wrote,
Yes,
wrote the
that's
wrong
okay.
number somewhere. We got 4
All
teams
right,
left.
well-
The four teams we have left are Charlotte, Washington, Detroit,
That's what I thought.
and,
In Toronto.
Toronto. All right,
Yeah,
we're good.
okay.
We're good. All right, we're good.
All right.
I just looked at 27. I go, that
It was I typed in the wrong number at some point and we were just going along. Okay, we're good.
All right,
Dunny, so
Johnny,
you got one of
take
those
your
2 of those 4 teams.
Oh, I get 2 of them?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Okay.
snake draft with 3 people. It's just the most
We're
confusing
messing it
thing in
up.
the world.
I always, if anyone if there's any crossover listeners with Part of My Take, which I'm sure there are with every podcast, I always laugh at them when they mess up the snake drafts. I'm
Yeah.
like, how the hell do they screw this up?
It's
And
simple.
It's that
We
easy.
have 3 people and we're messing it up. 3
with
people.
with a very round 30 number.
I look at
All right.
27. I was like, no, that can't be right.
Something
That's
happened here.
just wrong.
That all being said, I will take the Pistons and the Raptors. Thank you. Have fun with
That's-
Mr. Beast, y'all.
Yes, Steve. Have fun with Mr. Beast. I'm taking the Wiz.
I'll actually take Charlotte over the Wizards, even though both are like terrible. Absolutely. I have the whole. How did I get the whole Southeast at this point?
Boston,
they
this is
basically-
your team, ready? You do have the whole
Terrible.
Southeast.
So
you
bad, so
literally
bad.
have.
So bad.
Do you have the entire Southeast?
No,
Who's
you got
only
the
other
Wizards.
Southeast
You
team?
saved me.
Oh, I have the Wizards. That's right. They're a
Yeah.
Southeast team. You have
Great.
Boston,
Mhm.
the Lakers, the Cavaliers, the Clippers,
Mhm.
the Heat, the Sixers, the Rockets, the Magic, the Hawks, and the Hornets.
It's not that bad.
Getting
The
the Heat and the
Southeast-
Sixers where you did, that was just us
Yeah.
being stubborn.
And the Hawks too.
You
And
scooped
the
those
Hawks
up,
where I
yeah.
did, yeah. So I'll take that.
Yeah, they could be
yes.
good value picks down there. I've got Denver,
Okay.
Oklahoma City, Sacramento, the Knicks, the Warriors, the Pelicans, the Wolves, the Jazz, Portland, Washington. I'm not inspired by that.
So yeah, I think
Pelicans
you
and
won.
Portland
I think
thing.
you won in like the top of the middle too with your Knicks and Warriors picks there.
See, I don't
know, but
See,
I don't
I'm
like the
down on a
Warriors.
lot
pick.
of the teams
I had
you
to
took,
pick
yeah.
about the Warriors. The first 4 I'm happy with. I think
Mhm.
the Thunder, Sacramento, and the Knicks are going to be like a 3 or 4 seed, and that's where I'm hoping for them.
Right.
If Denver is like a 52 win team, I'm screwed. That's basically what happens.
True.
Yeah.
They need to be like 56, 57. Dunny,
Don't even want the
Phoenix,
draft.
Milwaukee, Memphis, Dallas, Indiana, Brooklyn, San Antonio, Chicago, Detroit, Toronto.
Yeah, don't even want the draft.
I took San Antonio way too early.
Yeah, San Antonio could have been your 10th pick. You still did all right though. I mean,
Yeah,
getting
that's
Detroit
great.
and Toronto at the last turn.
Yeah.
I started thinking about how tall Wemby was, and I was like, I just need
Yeah.
to take the Spurs.
No, I like your draft a lot. You got 2 of the big 4. You got a couple of my sleeper teams in there that I love this year. Yeah. Well done, Dunny.
Thank you.
Well
Sure.
done, boys.
Thank you.
We'll get that up for the people all year long.
No, Philly fans be nice.
Keep them locked in.
Yeah, if you're a
They
Philly
went-
fan listening, sorry, but we are gonna have to put
They
out one
went
of
an
the grossest
18th,
draft
I
picks.
think. 18th overall.
I think it's fine. I really do.
All right.
I think it's all right. I think that the group from like pick 5 to the Philly pick, who knows? With all
True.
those
No,
teams.
I agree.
Yeah.
They could all be like 4 games apart. Like it could be
Yeah.
like 47 to 43 win teams throughout there, and we're gonna be close between there. Like that's the thing is like this
And
year is gonna be very interesting in the league. It's gonna be very competitive all the way through.
And knowing the hijinks of this podcast and how we miss news like right after we clicked end on record every week that we record, Philly, whoever's what, Steve, you took Philly at 18?
Yeah, it took Philly.
Probably right when we get off tonight, the Sixers will somehow get a deal done with the Clippers and Paul George will be a
Yep.
Sixer or something.
Yep.
And
I love Philly then. If you get
Yeah.
Paul George instead of Harden, I like
And,
Philly a lot more.
they do. It's not quite as good as the NFL having any given Sunday, because I love that. Anytime
Mhm.
shit goes
Yeah.
backwards, you can just point to that. NBA not as good, but it's where amazing happens, man. And we know from year to year that anything can happen in this crazy league, and it is amazing. And I'm glad
We're back.
basketball's back. And I'm glad that Happy Hour Hoops is here in full force. And that'll do it for the episode today. Predictions, drafts, we covered it all. We'll have a funny graphic to put out this week. Stay locked in with our win totals throughout the whole year. We'll be updating you weekly. And for Steve, Jake, myself, I won't cut out this week on the outro. I'll stay with you guys the whole time. Follow Trainwreck Sports. Follow at Happy Hour Hoops 1 on all socials. And enjoy the NBA until June, folks.